So I've got them marked out, 57 1/4, 31 1/4. I'm not gonna miter it. I'm gonna cut her down half lap, I guess you might call it. I've got it set up. The saw's on the stand we just made it adapt to with our little apparatus. And we'll be ready to cut. I've got glasses. I got my face mask. You know, this is from China. If it happened to be around that wet market, I better have this mask on. And I got ear protection. To me, of all the things, when you deal with tendonitis, not tendonitis, when you deal with tinnitus, you learn quickly. And you wished you'd have covered your ears. So we're ready. I wish this was the quick type setup, but no, it's the snail pace. But this works as well. There it is. By the way, it's noisy, but I love the cuts. I hate the shrapnel, but I love the cuts. I have these other two marked. We'll hit them first. That's what I was talking about. Well, in my opinion, you probably even got better connection because now I've got a weld here, here, and here. Here, here, and here. Instead of just a crossing up. So, better or not, easier to hit. Any gap will be filled with weld. I've got this marked, and I'd show you how to do it on a saw, but I can't show you how to do it on a saw because you're probably not supposed to use a saw that way. Now we'll talk fitment. I'm gonna weld both sides, so I'm not concerned about beveling that. Right here is a great example. I am gonna get full penetration there. Over here, same situation. I'm welding both sides, that's dead flush. I'll get full penetration in that corner. I'm not concerned about it. I need to blow that off, just because that dust is showing. This particular used piece of steel appears to be twisted. Yeah, it's twisted a little bit. So what I'll do, everything's square at the moment. It's tacked very firm on this side. I'm gonna weld the other end and then I'll put a clamp on that and clamp that into shape like I want it. This is the bottom, facing up at the moment. So it'll have the casters on it. And again, this old used piece of steel, I'll throw nothing away, okay? Same situation. I'm gonna get full pin and I'm gonna get both sides of that. I do not see a problem with that. There's lots of rules and violations we're doing of welding, but this is for a table to push around my shop with a few tools on it. This is not saving the world. Nobody be housed inside of it. We're just hillbillying this up, all right? So, enjoy. See if I can get you a perch maybe to watch some shots. I don't know if this thing's gonna show or not. All right. Sleeves on. It's kind of warm out here. I don't like getting burnt up by this. It's rough on me. flux core, gasless, what have you. It's going to be fine for this. In fact, there's parts on that bulldozer welded with that. That root rake on the front's welded on there with this exact same setup. It will hold, all right? Stick's got its place. This I can weld in a windstorm. That one's way high. Use a little power. I'd rather the top than the head. You can't weld that one yet. Don't weld, and you want to weld, that's primarily the cheapest method. Short of stick's pretty cheap. Every time, I don't like the trigger on that, it's so sensitive. Where is my other machine? Excuse the mess, you see. We work in here. Oh man, this is probably one of the least expensive machines. It welds excellent. 110 setup. Limited controls here. But it does fine. I wouldn't weld parts on that bulldozer blade with it because it's not hot enough. But it's fine for bubble gumming something together. Like this would have been fine. But that machine's right there. It runs 220. It runs so much hotter. I don't think that'll work. We'll see how it works. That's not a very dark shield. I'm working from one side to the other, watching the food, laughing both of them. I don't know if you saw any of them. We'll see in the later parts. All right. Now then that one, I don't know. There now. May fall off while I'm doing this. Now then, we've got to mash that down. Let's go get a masher. Sorry about that. Now we got a masher. That looks good. Let's see, can we see if that works. Might, it might not. I don't know. Word of caution, you welding around your clamps like this, the balls off of this, the splatter will sometimes get in the threads and gum it up. But what I'm fixing to do, I'm not worried about it. Stop. Come in across here. Rid of my clamp. Go back this way so maybe you can see. Kind of ugly. I can do better than that. We'll still seam them up all four corners. Got the casters marked out, inch in both directions. Looks like it'll work pretty well. We all know there's an elephant in the room. Those are probably zinc coated. So I'm gonna keep the mask on and put a fan behind me while I weld. And I don't believe grinding it or burning it's a whole hell of a lot of difference, quite honestly. All right. Now is only to cut the legs like we want them. I don't know if you see over there, there's a little aluminum end and one right here, but that one's missing it. So we'll figure out where we want it, lop them all off at the same length, mount it on our frame. Here's something interesting. That and that is where the stinger lead was laying on the ground while I was welding. So is this, where the stinger lead was laying. That was probably the ground. That's the Angry Pixies magnetizing the fall, our little shavings, and lining them all up in a row. I've never even noticed that before. It's pretty cool. Enjoy that. Now it's just to weld it in. The wife come out and told me it was out of level or whatever. Well, I run her off. I'm just gonna do it anyway. Well, that part of it's finished. I've got it on rollers now. I've got my tools. I think like I want them. I'm just gonna leave them loose like that for now. I might bolt some down later. Had to raise this up. Simplest thing for me, I'm a carpenter, more I am a welder. And I don't, why would I do it permanent? All I gotta do is undo these screws. I can take that off there and see anywhere I want. Throw that in the garbage. Look at it. I mean, it's not, when you turn the trigger on, you have to pull it back out. I mean, it gets the job done, but I ain't ready to buy another one yet. We got our rollers on there. It'll roll wherever I want it to, if nothing else. I can just roll it out of the way and clean out from under it. Right now, that's just resting on those two little sticks, cross brace I put on there. I've thought about doing me some drawers to come out of there. Perhaps even keep the blades, grind wheels, whatever else goes with this setup. It is fairly heavy. That kind of took care of the little warp it had. But now, when I come in here with the vehicle, if I need to open the door and that is in the way, I can move it. I appreciate y'all watching. I'll try to make these better from time to time. This is me starting up. I enjoy doing it, just sharing. Hey, that's a fair idea. I've had it for a long time. Let's do it. Record some of it, show you how I did it. Maybe it'll encourage you to do your own. I've got several things on casters in here. That welder's on casters. I didn't do that. It's already like that. My stump, my vice stump, and the mess around it is probably the next thing I need to do. It doesn't sit level. I'm toying the idea of putting 3 steel legs on it. Just 3 legs will sit anywhere. And for the way I use it, I don't see that being too much of a problem. So that may be the next little thing I do. But this is not finished. I'd like to have a way to store some of the drop, possibly in a wire basket or something like that, simply so all the shavings could fall right through it, but I'd still be able to keep some fair pieces of steel in there. For a lot of times I just use them for gusset. Maybe washers. I've cut and made my own washers before. Well, now that I've achieved that goal, I appreciate you watching.